Hello, everyone! We are here on Bulwark Naval Yards. Team 1 ANS, Team 2 OSP, and the Team 1 Blue Trunks, currently not deployed yet. We've got Tasty Cookie, Star, we've got Firebird, and Hi Mars. Team 2, we've got Hallow, Microsoft Edgelord, we've got Black Bat, and then we've got Shadow Me. So, it's going to be the last one I stream for this stream that I'm pulling these from. This is on Friday the 21st. Looking forward to doing some more tournament castings. I don't want to go too long today as that would destroy my voice, and I want to be able to shoutcast the tourney and see what people are bringing out. We are on the public test branch for this one. A couple adjustments were made. Latest patch went through to live. A lot of people were very opinionated about it, so we're testing out, buffing up the Flechette rounds a little bit more on test branch. They're about 40% of what they originally were when the Flechette round first came out in terms of the hitbox size, so a bit of changes there, and we'll see what kind of stuff happens. Let's see. If only Oak could say it, fortunately no one does. We're talking about like some of the fleets there because somebody overrode their fleet and took a little bit of time in the lobby realizing, oh no, oopsies, that's not the right fleet file. So I'm talking about like what were some of the original ships that were in Nebulous and that. So I don't know, maybe List does have a copy of like the original Task Force Oak or like some of the old starter fleets kicking around somewhere. We'll find out. Escaping like, yeah, you should DM her. It's like, yeah, that'll totally not go over poorly. Just bugging everyone's like, hi, yes, do you have Task Force Oak? Just get an angry message back. Buddy, it's in your starter fleet folder. Figure it out. Alright, anyways. Let us go ahead and see. There we go. Finally getting the deployments down. I was waiting for blue team to lock in. Okay, so OSP looking to deploy mostly towards the top of the map, going for that fight over the seaside neutral. ANS, in turn, looking to do basically the same thing. So with both teams securing their natural on the A points and B points, respectively, you've got these neutrals on the outside, the D points and E points. And then the C side is kind of this odd little angle because there's a lot of cover very close to it with this big kind of like metal facing of the space station. But the C point itself is very open, so you tend to get a lot of kind of like, I think just like both sides committing to turning it into a graveyard. Like anything that goes there just rapidly gets shot by anything that like pops out from behind cover. Bulwark Naval Yards is a very nice map. I quite like the kind of atmospherics and aesthetics of it and like the little animations. It's so cool. It's got a little trick up its sleeve too. We'll see once people cap the points. Anyways, let's go through these fleets real quick, starting with Firebird over here. We've got ourselves a 450 Axford. Very nice. 450 on the top and bottom. Got a size 2 backpack here. Just a bunch of active decoys. Good stuff. Raider drives on these. Very nice. Escorting this is going to be another ship with it. 450, similar style. No size 2 backpacks to go with the comms jammer. Classic pair there. Defenders and Stonewalls keep these things safe. They're able to walk forwards as a pair. Heimar is going to be occupying, once again, the cap fleet role. Heimer is popular with the cap fleet today on this ANS slot. Got themselves a beam destroyer here. Got a blanket jammer on the side. VLS-2 on the top with a bunch of anti-craft munitions. Capper slappers there for kind of a nice little pair of size 2s. And then anti-bomber breadsticks. Got Stonewall Defender on the belly here to see off some lighter threats and a bullseye on the tail there. Good beam destroyer loadout. They got one of them deployed here, kind of going towards C point or E point. They've got another one deployed to hold down that D side flank. They got themselves a little gun corvette here, Mark 62's Defender and chaff box on this thing. A good little device there. They got one of those down mid, second one headed towards B point here proper, third one going towards D side, and then a fourth one on towards D side. Lastly, they've got the little cringe capper pair here. These are equipped with a Defender, a chaff box, I believe on the chin or the side. There it is on the side. And a VLS-2 on the belly. VLS-2 on this thing, oops, is just enough to hold some anti-craft munitions. See off any initial scouts or something that might be looking nearby. These are meant to go onto the point, cap it, and die. Star is going to be the other frontliner for the ANS right now. We see that they've currently got a nice little tech build. 450 on the belly, size, 450 on the belly. A size 4 Mark 65 here is going to be occupying the top slot. It's an option of this on the Mark 66. I like this as a tech choice. Does make you get a little closer, but you get the benefits of RPF and some very nice 250 DPS. So cool little tech there. Good against small craft. Got the comms jammer on the back there, able to interfere with enemy missiles and stuff. In turn, they've got, a tech choice here. Okay, a rail Axford in the back, able to bark out a bunch of rounds in quick succession. Has VLS-2s on the side here. These are Naginata anti-craft munitions, so this thing could put out 9 rail rounds in about 5 seconds, and it does it very well. So, and it's maybe a little light on the front line there, as there's going to be only 3 Axers holding the line. Going to see Tasty Cookie coming out here with one of their carriers. Let's see what they get. Menace Flight Airborne with 3 bombers. That is going to mean that this thing does, in fact, have a strike down center, allowing it to load and launch more craft than you would usually expect. This thing's got a couple of Tantos going along with it. Reflex Flight here with those very strong coil guns right now. Got some choices of missiles here as well. ARAD to go after radar, and then SDM-1. These are cheap lunges, but they can do the job. See just what is in the rest of their fleets here. couple of bombers getting off the deck, and then a bunch of these coil gun Tantos as well. Coil Tantos quite strong. Basically, you got themselves a E-Ward device to go along with. What are they on about? These guys are always ubering and yelling in chat as they get into the game. We need to give them like ping pong or something to play in the pregame before they finally get in here so that they're not as energetic. Anyways, hang up device here. Mark 61 on this thing to defend itself and a defender in turn. Let's see another one of these things. Just a little comms jamming device here. Nice tech using these against like mass driver or rail ships on the enemy team. Able to isolate them, preventing them from getting locks from their allies. Let's see if there's any of them to counter. First, we're going to see a carrier, 3,000 point carrier in turn from Black Bat. Oh, no, actually not 3,000 point. They've elected to go a tug. Ooh, okay, forward air controller. Bunch of Naginata anti-air missiles on this thing. Nice little tech choice here coming out. So we see they've got bulk mag up top and down below here, so they get the really huge magazine depth on this thing. That's a nice way to play forwards and counter some of these incredibly powerful coil gun Tantos we've been seeing around the place. Capper's moving out now towards the E point and D point. We're going to see Hallow getting there first. I believe this has a... Ooh, no, actually not Sundrive. Just going here and then getting the early bird gets the worm treatment on that one. So yeah, police tug. That's a good word for that. Yeah, anti-air police tug there. Black Bat coming out with a bunch of these... what are these? Skiffs here for air control. They've got dropkick flight up with spearfish rockets ready to throw some rockets into somebody's face. Then a couple of barracudas going around here, size ones, gun pods, and then the perch rock. No, actually 35 mil nose guns and perch rockets, not the gun pods after all. All right, let's take a total look at their craft. I need to get through these fast because people are getting underway. Bunch of bombers and then a bunch of fighters. Not much else. No pikes on their team. Interesting. Very good scouting tool that, and electing not to bring in.
The enemy is securing.
RPF wins today as Hallow is going to be getting the brakes beaten off them with their T-20 chaff box shuttle here going the way of the dodo, as two of these corvettes are going to be eating good tonight. Going to see up on the E point here, Hallow going uncontested with another one of those. Let's see. They've got a T-20 capper on the A point down there. This was the dead one. This was the wounded one. So yeah, C point was cleaned up as HIMARS wins two of these lanes with the little corvette investment. I think this thing probably got blasted by one of these further back assets. Maybe the best girl with its beam. Yeah, that's in range. That definitely cooked that thing off. Look at the front side. Completely gutted. So... all right, bit of that action going down there. What else does Hallow have? They've got that capper. They've got this rocket capper hanging on the backfields, ready to jump on something if it gets an opportunity. They got another rocket capper over here with a Pavise on it. They got themselves another rocket. Wow, they got a lot of rockets in reserves here, ready to pull those out if need be. They've got themselves a mine launcher down here on the bottom of the map, and then another mine launcher shuttles here. So Hallow just going heavy on those, and then resident T-30 enthusiast Hallow has their goalie bulker ready down here if anyone attacks the A point or pull this thing out in the late game. Jeremy with a surprise switch up coming out with a monitor like septet, I believe this is called for 6. Sextet? Septet? I'm not sure which is the right one for it. Hextet? Something like that. Anyways, you see C90s across all of these things. Nose guns. Got some jammers on other ones. All right, very cool stuff. Pinpoint locker on the one we selected. Got some plasma and T30 across here. Let's do a quick loadout check here in the bottom right. A couple of these are plasma. A couple of them are double T30. All right, yeah, so... all right, 8 plasma guns by the looks of it, and a bunch of C90. That is a brick of a front line. Nice stuff. In the front, ahead of them, is going to be Microsoft Edgelord, who's got a... what is this device? This is a Plasma Acello. Okay, Plasma Acello with some flak point defense on the sides by the looks of it. Interesting. Probably just couldn't afford power-wise on this thing. That's going to enable these C56 and T30 gun bricks, which are just chewing apart the front line here. Yeah, HIMARS went forward, and these were naked A-cappers, and they died like it. Damn, that is a lot of firepower from those ships here. It's just going to be duplicates of all 3 of these. So, can opener of an Acello, and then some follow-up guns with the escorts. That's fun. It's Hextet, Septet would be 7. Ah, okay, my mistake then. Ooh, Rocket Strike coming off here. Going to see if Splinter Flight is able to eat good tonight or not. R1 rockets are pretty damn good, but this thing is going to survive for the moment. Reinforced drive is not going to be broken here, but it does have fuel line fire. I think this thing is just dead. I'm pretty sure it goes off to the fuel line fire. It is structure broken. I don't see them repairing this in time. 82% work speed debuff. That will be a dead ship, but in turn, they do have the cap point. Crimson Flight trying to dive on that, but unfortunately not quite getting there. Chariot is nearby, trying to be a hero with some of its... you gave this thing missiles? All right. Yeah, normally don't see that, but hey, hero. Go for it. Anyways, Reflex Flight going to say something about that coil gun locked in, not electing to waste any of their missiles. Tasty going to be doing some good air control here. Deciding not to over-invest into getting a cheap little kill like this, but Hallow, get your skiff out of the rafters, please, is, yeah, so the skiff looked like it got caught up in the little kind of antenna rafters, whatever you want to call those. They're just like, bruh, moments just to get hit there. All right. That's kind of an interesting tech for this map, just trying to put these things over here so like missiles or fighter craft potentially have a rough go at attacking them. My shipyard, I'll use it how I damn want. All right, OSP comfortably taking the east side of the map. C point not quite capped by them. Anna selecting to stack up on this side. We see Tasty Cookie moving forwards. Once again, playing close to the front line, able to launch and land quicker. That's how you want to be doing. Yet play a little bit risky, but you can get away with it. Couple of shots going down here. Again, those 100 mil guns here, these T-30s on Jeremy's like massive death blob, as well as the secondary kind of like escorting ships over here from Microsoft Edgelord. That is a lot of 100 mil flak to put down range. So Blackbat going to be thanking their teammates a lot here, because that is a really good way of chipping away at these health bars on these Tantos, keeping them honest, making them not run all over the map and just pick off everything. A couple of these Naganatas coming out here too. CMD with a Wake Seeker, swing and a miss, question mark, coming around, gets... Yeah, okay, gets coil gun there as it went past and then came back around. But still, there's a dozen Tantos right now who are dodging for their life. Rebel Flight coming around the rock here, trying to hit him from the flank. They are not authorized for the strike. Looks like they were going for rocket on something or other. Kind of questioning how the furball is going to resolve here as we saw all that flak go off. Looks like the fighters are split off here. Potentially, these fighters could jump on this, use that 35 mil nose gun, and then pick off something or other, but looks like they can't quite get it. That Halbert would have decided the match. Maybe. The bat's throwing is the yeah, it's clearly that Halberd would have decided the match. All right, so that's just a little bit of friendly banter among folks. Anyway, some of these Naganatas going to be putting rounds down range. Sorry, they're going to be putting rounds down range with the 100 mil and the Naganatas too. That's what we're trying to say. These bombers having a rough go as they're stuck evading against all of that incoming flak. Not a lot of impact on target thanks to the flak rounds not being quite as like massive a explosion as they were on launch, where they had like 100 mil radius. Or not 100 mil, 100 meter radius. God, I cannot words today. Can you tell us the last game I'm going to stream today? Holy shiza. Anyways, Death Ball has been formed. Acello leads the pack. This is a this is a Acello and 9 monitors with it. That is a good chunk of armored beef to get through. Can ANS do it? Answer is yes. If we take a look, actually, Star way in the backfield here, they need to get this rail ship around the corner and then start laying down suppressive fire, because holy crap, our rail's going to be good against all of this front line. If you hit a monitor in the nose and cripple it with like 9 rail shirts worth of crits, like that is just a lot of damage dealt immediately. All right, Plasma going to be going out here. This is going to be Firebird and the Proud Veil, who's going to start dodging to the side, realizing, oh shit, I'm in Plasma range. I need to not be here. Double Raider drives and Whiplash going to let them get the hell out of dodge pretty quick. Furball going down here as we see Claw Flight has engaged now. They've used their Naganatas and a bunch of their missiles. Looks like some of the wakes have been fired off there. 35 mil nose gun squares off against 15 millimeter nose gun. Going to see who wins.
The enemy is securing.
Tantos continuing to throw bricks at people, and Hymar is deciding to get in to the action a little bit over here, doing the beam in the background. We see that thing fire off. Lancer Flight looking like they're cleaning things up pretty handily there. Kind of to be expected. Once again, right now, that coil gun is incredibly lethal. Very long range, although it does have some staying problems. Able to use up its 10 shots very, very quickly, as we see over here. These things are quite vulnerable. Unfortunately, when they win the engage like that and are able to just kind of go back and rearm, there's not really much you can do to punish them. You need to have a secondary flight of fighters or something else to jump on them when they're defenseless, but fortunately, that's not to be the case for the OSP right now. Rebel Flight is nearby, but they were on strike duty. I believe they're just kind of hanging out for the moment, waiting to get back on the deck and then rearm and repair and get themselves out again. Nova Flight of Claymores coming in here. Got some torpedoes. Got to say something about it. ARAD Act for one, and then Act ARAD Val for the other one. These are jammable, but at what cost? Let's find out. Going to be, I think, immediately finding a tug there. Ooh, the Arsenal tug gets knocked out. It still had a couple Naganatas left in the bay that it wanted to use up. All right, couple of shots there. Yeah, so Jeremy going to take that better part of the salvo. See, this one is the Josh Jung. Okay, so it's doing the best. The guns do get knocked out. The secondary kind of batteries on this compared to the C90 are a lot softer. We saw one of them was just completely smoked out there by the combination of 450 and missiles, I believe. Yeah, this thing is super dead. They had another one over here that took a pair of torpedoes by the looks of it, lost its point defense guns. Not a lot of Pavis in that by the looks of it, so that's what 6 torps can do in rapid succession. It goes to show that you do need to bring a bunch of Pavis and other assets to see off threats like that. Fighters would be ideal for that, but unfortunately the fighters were tangling with the coil gun Tantos over here, which are very, very good right now. So they were able to shoot them down handily, and then torpedo bombers had an opening to exploit. In turn, Splinter Flight now going kind of in reserves up here, has their flechette rounds not authorized right now because they haven't gotten any attack order onto any fighter craft, but as currently stands, OSP is holding this down with a 3 cap, ANS with 2 cap. ANS does have a slight points lead, but that will tie up fairly soon. You see both sides just kind of exchanging a little bit of the long-range gunnery handshake here. Firebird correctly kind of going to ground here, using a bit of the range benefit that they have got with the 450 caliber, so they're going to be trying to slug it out with a bunch of these monitors here as they kind of rotate over. See, the nose guns on these things, C56s, these are able to bite into Axford armor with the correct angle, but Axfords do have some nice slanted armor that can bounce quite a few of those rounds, forcing them to use AP, which I don't think has quite enough pen to get through these slanted armor plates. I know it can get through like the flat plate on the chin and the like nose thrusters, but I think it can bounce quite a bit of this. So 250 not super duper effective against the front of an Axford like that. Yeah, we're just seeing quite a few of those rounds kind of either whiff by because double radar, dodge, or just otherwise having some range issues. All right, ECAP attempted here. HIMARS says, oh, maybe you don't have the ECAP under control. Don't mind if I do. Hallow going to be on the ball, immediately retaliating with a T-20 shuttle coming over here. We got some bombers that are off the deck here with some bombs and spearfish. Potentially could be running over and doing anti-warship duty on the E-point side. Hallow's got a rocket shuttle committed as well. I love what Hallow's doing right now with the initial cappers just being these cheap T-20 kind of see-em-off devices. And then you got the follow-up hammer delivered with this rocket shuttle burning towards target. Has that sun drive cooking itself along 65.7 meters a second going for that E-capper. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, we can see Joker Flight is getting itself jammed out here. They're just kind of hanging out for the moment, which is not really where you want to be. Got a bunch of Naganatas equipped on these things, able to do a bit of delivery, but unfortunately just not much else besides that. Just Naganatas, fuel tanks, and nose gun. That's it. So, yeah. E-point contention does go on as HIMARS will not be able to cap this thing in time. It would have been kind of nice if they could, but fortunately they're going to say nuh-uh to this with a pair of shuttles. The I want to heal is going to be just kind of poking away at this thing. It holds the heading on target. Nice little control H play there, able to keep things simple. Hallow coming in with the hammer sweep. Here we go. Rockets ahoy. Smack, 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 smack. That is going to be a very dead E-capper as Hallow will defend their point. This is what happens when you send a lone asset out like that. HIMARS, in turn, might be able to get some beam work done if they're able to swing over here. Potentially has those secondary missiles as well, the Capper Slappers. We'll see if those get used or not. All right. Taking a look at the board right now. So ECAP was attempted and was denied. That will hold the OSP on their 3-cap advantage. They've almost caught up to the ANS right now, who are bleeding out their points lead. We're into the second quarter of the game now, as this is to be played to 1,000 points. So we'll just kind of see how the teams are developing. Jeremy has been bruised and bloodied across like 2 monitors, I think it was. The Josh Jung does get its guns back up online, but these are fairly wounded, as one would note. Bat is detected, apparently. That's going to be interesting. Where is Black Bat? Black Bat in the bat here with the carrier has been spotted by something. Kind of curious what's got eyes on that. Tasty, do you have? No, that's not good. Spyglass, what is seeing you? Is it Firebird? Where's Firebird's radar? Okay, Firebird over here, maybe. No, that's outside parallax range. What is spotting this thing? I have no idea what spotted that. Okay, weird. It was at least. Does the Weird Pole have a spyglass? Weird Pole has spyglass. Okay, so Weird Pole, there you go. Just on the edge of that like 11 or 11.5 kilometer range. I forget exactly how far spyglass is. It's like 11 something. Anyways, missiles ahoy. Naginata's going after some jokers over here. Barracuda's going to get smoked by one of them. Another one probably going to find its target. Ooh, swing to the left and a nice evade there. Good dodge, pilot. You're going to get paid bonus. In turn, though, looks like Breadstick's going to see off a skiff there. Beam as well being deployed. Oh, that's not the right ship. Beam being deployed from here. HIMARS able to pick off the I want to heal. Able to trim out some shuttles, although they did lose one of those. That's just, oh, I have skill shoot. Oh, I see. Interesting. Let's see what happens with Bat as they've been detected. Might be getting attacked by something or other. What did they do? They got shot by something. I guess they walked forwards and then took a hit there. They still have their magazine and all their hangers here, so they're not completely screwed, but yeah, walked a little too forwards. Firebird was like, oh, cool. Priority target. Smack them. Malice Flight over here going to be trying to get in, but taking a couple of RPF rounds on the approach. Naginata's going to be seeing them off from the back here. Yeah, Star with this backline support asset. Naginata's and the rails as well. Oh no, it's on weapons hold. No, you fool. You must unhold your weapons. Clearly, just a little bit of a micro error there, just trying to get their shots on target. This is actually the correct thing to do for rail turrets like this. You assign your fire order, wait until the gun has bared, and then you hit weapons free or weapons tight. The reason being is that the first shot typically will miss because the gunners get a little overeager and fire their shot early. There you go. Star realizing they're on target now, saying, okay, I can hit this thing. Let's how many... Yeah, okay. There you go. Crits happened. Whack, whack, whack. Yeah, so turns out Rail Axford is actually really good at inflicting crits be upon me to a bunch of monitors and Acellos, so that's quite cool. Oh, flick to the back there. Arbiter Flight going to be engaging into the enemy. They are danger close to this enemy point defense. Got to watch out for that. Still, they're pecking away at these Barracudas without a care in the world. Coil guns are good, but coil guns do not have ammo anymore. So now it's going to be a case of the tables turning as suddenly a Joker flight of Barracudas over here. One of them left says, oh, real shit, buddy. I counted 10 shots. Nice try, pal. Your coil gun's out of ammo. Let's get him. A little bit of client desync there, so we're not quite sure where the craft is going. But don't worry, the server knows where it is, so that'll go through. Jeremy going to walk onto the C point there and hold it for a moment. Looks like HIMARS is also contesting this with one of their corvettes trying to do something there. Right, let's see. So Monitor Ball and Ocello just kind of moving their way over here. Like I said, you can set up on this nice flat angle there and hold the ground for a bit. Got some more Naganatas going out here, trying to see off Cascade Flight, which is building up a dangerous amount of craft at this time. Seeing one of these bombers has been heavily crippled. Bunch of Naganatas going to be going into them. That is, wow, that is really effective on target. 4 bombers loaded with spearfish and bombs immediately smoked there, sent into the grave. That's going to be a good chunk of the buildup immediately taken out there. More bombers are committing pre-flight and finishing their post-flight check, but still, there's even more Naganatas to see these things off. Unfortunately, no interceptor fighters to try and get rid of those. Escape Gat saying, oh no, Bat, yeah, Bat unfortunately having the issue of walking a little too close to the sun. Star with a smart air control play here saying, okay, what if I just brought like a bunch of anti-craft missiles on this thing and just walked them forwards? What if you did that? Obviously, it's going to be easy missile bait. Totally, you should run into my gun range. What do you think will happen? Eat missiles. HIMARS having a good time over here, catching the flank of one of these ships. Microsoft Edgelord has a lot of 100 mil in this thing, or had, rather. Might have been able to get a shot or two off. Looks like HIMARS cooking a bit of their beam on Battleship, making sure this thing does stay in the dirt. OSP kind of getting pinned in here as the ANS frontline has rotated over. They are holding the ground here. Nice job on HIMARS, making so if they retreat here, if they have to clear this beam destroyer or take crippling casualties, one of them went ahead and died. The other ones are going to be stuck here currently as the ANS is using their range advantage. They've got that very nice angle right now. Frontline being held by Firebird, able to lay down a bunch of 450. The supportive fire coming up here from Star, able to do this kind of like interesting Axford tech choice where they're able to take one off the front line, do a little bit of backline asset work with that railgun. Currently having a bit of a masking issue. Needs to get that nose realigned there as they've rotated around the map here. Having a bit of an issue on that one. See up front here, the value judgment, which totally is the stock value judgment. You should not think that it's anything else. There's 250 also seeing off some of the later threats here. So nice little tech choices there in showing how you can get multiple different varieties of Axford. Flashbang missile deployed out here. Looks like Fury Flight and Nova were able to clean up Jeremy's one asset here, the Koryusika, I believe it is. Basic CIC does get sniped out. This is one of the downsides to having to run like 6 of these monitors. It's that you have to spend only 500 points per monitor, so you got to cheap out somewhere. In this case, it looks like they cheaped out on basic CICs for some of them. These ones in question look like they've taken that. A couple of them had reinforced, though, by the looks of it. That one's basic. Where's the reinforced one? Hang on a second. Oh, I must have clicked one of Edge's, right? Yeah, Edge's reinforced. That's why. Okay, so Edge electing to pay a little bit more for some of the bells and whistles there because the Plasma Cello is not as expensive. Able to get a reinforced CIC and stuff. Anyways, the Value Judgment is doing a good job dodge dancing at this distance. OSP kind of having an issue here where they've had to give ground and constantly just like had the rotation path going over here. Why is the rail expert so close to the MNs? Style? I really don't know. I mean, it's just kind of hanging out over here. It's not really got like a huge amount of space, and it's probably running a little low on its Naganatas. Yeah, okay, it still can see off some threats, but still getting some very good effect on target. Needs to get its rails firing once again here. This is a bit of a mistake now, actually. Star got a little too excited, thinking they could dodge tank everything. Moving up forwards here, going to be eating some plasma. Whiplash and Singular Raider is going to make this thing evasive, but not super so. You see now a bunch of those bullets going to start maybe finding their way in. So though, at this range though, with like that, but call it like what 6-7 kilometer marker around there, this is still very good. As you see, Star is able to use both of their guns here, the Mark 65 and the Mark 68, able to get good purchase on targets, constantly peppering away. Jeremy losing another monitor in there. Edge is down one monitor, and the Plasma Ocello is taking some hits on the chin, losing one of its reactors in the back here. No restores left, so it's going to affect the ability for this thing to fire. Its energy regulators are going to be shut down in order to facilitate the guns.
The enemy secured zone comment.
CCAP will go off here as we see at the top of the map that finally resolves itself, and Jeremy says, oh, real shit, and goes kablooey. So HIMARS is unfortunately going to be completely stripped of all of the armor on Corvettes, which are well known for being very heavily armored assets. Yes, this is sarcasm. Lancer Flight will find Talon over here as Lancer is going to be trying to come around the corner, unload all of those coil guns. They are currently a bit low on missiles, but might be able to do something if they can get around this rock. Looks like they're thinking twice about it, having a little bit of an awkward engage dodge dance going around there. Try to maybe find something up top at first. Looks like they're going to find Ardent Flight over here, seeing if they can't get some coil gun shots before they go to ground. Ardent Flight just barely staying out of line of sight of Lancer. Lancer wanted that badly. Instead, they're going to go on to Talon, who are going to quickly try and dive here. See if Talon gets into the fight. There we go. Talon committing on target. There is some 35 mil Fichette firing off. A couple of missiles impact as well as both teams tear into each other from this close range. Now we're going to see Lancer and Talon dancing against each other. Seeing the furball indicator. Looks like they're still considering those targets over there. This is what happens when Coilgun Tantos don't get the initial joust advantage. They try and go for a kill here, but they can suffer heavily because they can get pounced on while going for another target. It's very much a case of having the craft controller, making sure you are given the correct tasking. Ooh, that was interesting. The vertical, like vertical, horizontal, whatever. The indicator showing as we went right past that marker there. So yeah, Lancer flight very low in ammo, needs to go back to the barn, but still goes to show even in a dogfight, those coil guns are quite strong right now. So have to be on the lookout for those. Gunfight continues. Eventually, the OSP does manage to get themselves around the corner. HIMARS decides that discretion is the better part of valor. Looks like they took some hits earlier on and wants to get that fixed up. So, going to be holding themselves back here, able to pop out maybe and get a shot or two off. Ardent Flight might be saying something about that before too long, knowing the Coil Gun Tantos have expended most of their ammo and going to be headed home. They might go for a shot there. Carrier is back on radar. Yep, Blackback continuing to play the running game in the backfield here. More Naganatas just constantly going away. How did this get here? Excuse me, HIMARS, where have you been with this thing? Best Girl rotates around the map, still has its VLS, and apparently dropping Naganatas against Avarice here. I think Avarice managed to get a rocket or bomb strike off? I'm not actually sure. They're going to go for a strike here anyways. There you go. Spearfish happened authorized. Going to clean up Best Girl here for a quick second. Let's watch this strike go down. Ooh, smack. Right into the guts of Best Girl, who is unfortunately not long for this world, and by not long, I mean dead. Firebird saying you're letting your carrier die, cowards. Just kind of shaking fists angrily at them as they've rotated away from them. ANS did a good size push here. This is how you do a nice little 6K kind of like push around this side. Get supportive asset providing fire for you. You push up with your front line, playing that dodge dance evasion game. You see HIMARS electing to play the risky game here, poke it out a little bit, trying to beam stuff. HIMARS, you madlet, you can't do that twice. I've already seen you beam bombers. You can't get away with that one. HIMARS, the beam enthusiast over here, loves the beam destroyers and battleships, as I've seen. So yeah, unfortunately, Cherami is going to say something about that. C90 rotates to face, T30s as well, going to get some stuff into that. Bad track, what's that? Don't know what you were talking about. The Jongleur probably going to get hit in the chin by a 600 mil. Oop, managed to snipe the reactor there briefly. Does not have enough power to run that beam. So it might not have taken it right in the face, but damn if it didn't splash into the midsection of the ship. This is where HIMARS now does the right call of moving into the cover, trying to repair up everything, get another beam shot off there, but still buying time. ANS does have the 3-cap advantage right now. OSP is ahead on points by about, call it 36, I think exactly. Yeah, it looks about right. Meanwhile, Black Bat found in the back of the map right now, going to be opened up on by 450. Not a lot of survivability on this carrier. Okay, you've got 2 hangar banks right now. You've got a bulk mag, and you've got 2 teams in 1 restore and a dream. That's what you're looking at. And by, yeah, you know what? I take it back. You don't have hangar banks anymore. Hangar banks privileges have been revoked. Another 450 shot going to come in here and probably knock those things out. They are not the most sturdy components, especially against frontline assets like this. Going to see immediately, yeah, just shots raining into this thing, following up on that. Because, hey, if the front line's not engaging, we're going to shoot everything else we find. So, you see a interesting, Hallow doing a fucking drive-by. You cannot get away with that. No, it's... Hallow saying, oh, nice try, rails don't hit me. Just driving by with one of their rocket shuttles does take a rail hit there finally. Firebird, gets a little bit of a boop there, but the armor takes most of it. Reactor takes a little bit of damage from a double tap. Still, though, that's quite a funny swing on this one. Rocket shuttles out of nowhere. Might see Hallow try and pull some of these other assets, going for back caps, seeing them kind of moving around the map. Hallow as well on Safari, moving from the back of the 8-point there. We saw HIMARS move one of their screening assets up top. There you go, more rockets for your troubles. Going to be getting it, oh, right into the top side of the weird pole. Not a lot of damage. Again, rockets don't quite have the pen, but with enough of them, they can actually add up. See the interrupt jammer going down there. Firebird has 5 restores, able to put that thing back together. Not really any command missiles on the map anyways, so not the biggest threat. So Hallow going for the style play there, just drive by sweeping somebody with a rocket shell and then deciding, all right, yep, well, my work here is done, time to go home. A whole bunch of crits started up from the various hits of RPF and the rails as well. Rails not the greatest for damage, but they are able to contribute just a little bit to the suffering of this ship. There you go, getting some snipes at the back there. I'm not sure what exactly hit it, but it definitely was enough to break that, so... Take a look at the map right now. Both teams are actually pretty even on score. ANS, like we said, does have that cap advantage. OSP has bled quite a few of their assets, but ANS has too. ANS is currently down to just HIMARS' Corvette and Tasty's jammer asset thing going towards the 8-point here, which might walk into mines if it's not careful. Those are a little bit close for comfort. How did you tuck these in here? Actually, these are just tucked right next to the rock face. The rocks here in turn. Oh, I should actually show off this map's little quirk. So When the cap points are held, it will make a whole bunch of these little rocks spit out of the resource generator things, go through these big copper magnetic coils, and then they will get eaten up by the resource dissector things and turned into magical spaceships and stuff. Yeah, this is a super cool map. I love this thing, the style, the flavor of it. Oh, this map is awesome. I don't know how like it goes for like maybe the most competitive of players, but damn if it's not cool to look at this thing play out. All right. Bad Company over here coming across the top here, gonna try and get its plasma on target, trying to get its bullseye going to. Is missing power, unfortunately, losing that reactor and the lost its large locker. There you go, that's gonna be unfortunate. Trying to get some plasma into the value judgment. This thing took a little bit on the chin, but is still feeling pretty healthy. Bit of comms jamming going off for good measure down here. Looks like the defender took out those mines over there in question, so that is going to be fine for them. A-cap going to go off. Simultaneously, Hallow deciding, hey, that sounds like a good idea. What if I did the same? Going to be moving on to the B point as these two will flip. Still, team's pretty much tied even for right now. 4-point difference. Going to see some missiles coming out here. That's going to pick off one of these Sturgeons. Might have been a breadstick or a Naginata. Not exactly sure which one. I think it was a breadstick, most likely. We're seeing more of these Naginatas. Just, again, really good anti-air missile. If you got a VLS, pack them. They're quite strong. You're seeing them dive across the map there. HIMARS hanging back here. They've got an asset in reserve near the C point in case they need to hop on that thing and contest it or to try and go for a cap. We're seeing Microsoft Edgelord making the desperation play, deciding, okay, we really need this cap. I will suffer these crits here. So you see Bad Company over here having a rough go at life as the rails and the 450 are going to completely pound it. Not quite structure broken yet, but definitely feeling like it's going to go that way soon. Rails right down the nose are not what you want to see. Once again, the rails just heading through all of these different compartments, causing crits and other failures. See the Handy and Braille here trying to make its way onto the point, losing its T-30 guns in the front there, as well as the antenna. Cannot spot anything really at the moment, because I'm pretty sure... No, actually, that radar panel should be active still. It's intact enough, so maybe you can see targets and fire on them after all. I take it back. All right, cap exchange goes down there. D point is going to be capped out here for the OSP. Is Hallow still in the backfield with some rocket shell goodness. Hallow going to show what preserving your assets to the late game can do. Not to like discredit HIMARS or anything, but quite a few of those assets, like 2 of these cringe cappers was used up. That leaves you with 4 Corvettes, 2 more if you count Tasty, just investing into that. So Hallow in turn having a bunch of these cappers just kind of kept around the map into the late game, able to hop onto a cap point, contest against other stuff, using those rocket strikes. Really good stuff showing how the OSP can take the benefit of a lot of small ships and really lever it with their kind of play style. We're going to see just what they end up developing here. Looking towards a 4 cap right now. Either way, ANS has that comfortable 3 cap. C cap is going off here. Handy and Braille might end up going down. Reinforced CIC desperately trying to keep fixed. Got the reactor and drive and stuff there, and the Citadel mag to tank a little more. This thing should live long enough to get C point. That will mean that HIMARS will have to hop on the point with this Corvette, and there's a lot of assets nearby that will see that thing off. Fury Flight is airborne here. They've got coil guns and a bunch of anti-air loadout. Unfortunately, nothing to ground pound against these large targets here that they might want to be going up against. Does Tasty have any bombers currently available? Let's see. They've got a flight of bombers that are currently active and airborne that could definitely go and do something, and they will need to get on target sooner rather than later. Bombard flight heading back for the hangars here. Let's take a look. Anything left in the banks? No. What you see is what you got for Tasty. 5 fighters and 6 bombers. How many torps they got? They got a couple torpedoes left, so they can reload and do 1 more good strike by the counts, but you can see just what they end up doing or not. Right, a lot of damage being dealt here. It's just all of the monitors are getting slowly bled out by the sustained ANS frontline fire. ANS has rotated all the way around the map on a 180-degree safari around the outside of this little Starbase Manufactorum, whatever you want to call it thing. Star doing pretty well over here, just contributing that rail fire, really sandbagging the damage control effectiveness of these ships, allowing the 450s to knock them out proper. Again, rails down like this kind of asset is exactly what you bring rails for. Ocellos, monitors, that kind of thing. Small, like armored targets, densely packed like this. Perfect rail targets. You then cripple the ship with its damage control teams tied up by a million fires, taking damage from those. And then your 450 and 250 can just put that nail in the coffin and really make the kind of frontline fight decided. Solid cap play from Hallow. Yeah, Hallow playing their heart out right now, deciding, okay, if we're getting folded in frontline, you guys are going to be over here busy with these guys. I'm going to go for a cap win. Hallow is currently holding a 4 cap and is rapidly approaching that win condition. We're going to see over here some torpedo strikes coming off of, what's that, Crusader flight there. Let's see if I can grab one of these on approach. Yep, that's going to be a torpedo strike, all right. Jonah Helm is going to get its entire midsection taken out there. Basic CIC does go down. Booster reactor going to cook off there. Firebird, like my face when basic CIC a moment, just realizing this thing instantly died. Hallow trying to drift onto the point here. They've got a reactor, no, a fuel line fire, never mind, so not a reactor bloom. One of these has reactor bloom though, right? Yeah, reactor bloom going to be on the way there, so... OSP is pretty bled on frontline. ANS is pretty bled on cap. Both teams trying to lever their advantage. And I hate to say it, but in this late game environment, I think OSP is actually kind of favored for the moment. Like, we saw that there was one flight left of bombers, right? Like, yeah, they've got enough torpedoes to load up. Let's see. So 10 torps, that's... Okay, that is actually enough to break out, like, 2 flights of stuff. So they're doing their pre-flight right now. They might be able to get enough off the deck to do some more torp runs. Halo still in this 100 mil bulker, moving its way over here on 8 point. Just the little rat hero that Halo can be. No light asset is going to be able to contest against this thing. Firebird's going to have to burn towards these points, and there's a couple mines waiting for them and just other tools to buy time. The C cap does mean this is back down to only a 3 cap situation for ANS, or OSP rather, but ANS is like maybe, exactly 80 points behind as that last tick goes off, so OSP is looking pretty good to win this. Like, ANS needs to get out on point, and yesterday, like, sure, they get bled on the front line, and they lost their carrier way here in the backfield because of the rotation and stuff, and the, like, strong aggression, but if you don't control these cap points at the end of the game, you're going to get bled out on points as we see them now. Yeah, 900 even on the board, 100 to win here. Cap gamers unite. Yeah, Halo just going to be a nuisance. Does this thing have rockets? Still does. Might be able to sandbag the Proud Veil or the weird pole over here for a second. Halo's 100 mil bulker will get noticed down here, but this thing does have a decent damage control board. It's got damage control central, it's got a large storage, Citadel mag, reinforcements. Halo paid the premium for this thing and is going to get their value out of it. All these like various shuttlecraft left into the late game just kind of going to show what you can do with this. Yeah, Rocket Shuttle over here going to be trying to pop a shot into Tasty and actually going to find it. The Giddy Can is going to maybe lose its Mark 61 if it's not careful. Oh, a little decent going off there, but yeah, that is going to be a crit going down. That's going to be a drive out. No restore on this thing. D point continues to be held. Breacher Flight gonna maybe do something about it, but too little too late. Does not get the decap. Is Halo the hero gonna contest this one? Let's go, Halo. See what you can get. Tasty calling GG. It's gonna be torpedo strike there as the rockets go in. ANS, I think, realizing that now as they lose this cap, they don't have enough to get onto the points in time. B point and E point are too far away. C point's in their hands, but they do not get on the D point in time, I don't think. That's going to be GG, well played called. Holy shit, what a finish. Cap Heroes sticking it to the late game. Once again, showing why you want to preserve your assets and keep these things alive, because you might get floored on the front line, but if they don't play the cap game and they wait till the late game to cap out like this, you can punish the hell out of them with some good plays. Speaking of good plays, let's watch as some rocket strikes go off. It's going to see the pain is real decide to introduce itself to the Proud Veil over here. Firing rockets so close, point defense can barely get active. Proud Veil going to get smacked up around there. Whack, 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 whack. Rethink that letter, bruh. Yeah, Halo just doing great over here. Reactor Bloom goes off. Halo, you got on the C point? You can't do this. How does he get away with this? Halo is everywhere. Halo's going to 5-cap them. My God. Halo, you rocket shuttle T-30 loving maniac, you. 5-cap going through here for the OSP, just gonna lock this one. World's least overworked cap player. Yeah, the frontline players doing their job, holding the enemy in place. And Halo's like, don't worry, guys. I got this. Stay chillin'. I'm just gonna go over and take the whole point. Is for me? Don't mind if I do. ANS, again, winning the front line, but here's the problem. In the process, the entire cap fleet for the ANS got bled out. TC had like 1 Corvette, HIMARS had 1 Corvette. That's all that they had left in the banks. And Halo was like, okay, I've got a cap advantage. I'm gonna lever it. I'm going for it. And damn if they didn't. So yeah, good game, well played. Holy shit, that was a great match. I love Bulwark Naval Yards with these players. This is some great matchups. Oh, and a drive bloom just for good measure. Yippee on the D point. I think that strips off Firebird's armor, I'm pretty sure. But that's Star, never mind. Yeah. All right, yeah. Whew. Firebird pulling good numbers. Axors on the front line, not taking many hits, just radar drive dodging, putting down a lot of suppressive fire, forcing the OSP to kind of box themselves together, keeping around their Acello, trying to can opener these Axors here. In turn, the Axors as well, like the 450 Axors, just kind of your classic front towards enemy expected build. Seeing some of the tech brought out, Star able to use a bunch of their rail support fire to do a lot of damage. It doesn't show it on the damage control board like inflicted here, but that critical damage across a small hole like the Acello or the monitor, where it's all densely packed together, that is really strong. Value Judgment over here, able to get itself these kind of Mark 65 to see off lighter threats in the 450 combo. So Star with the cool tech. They won the front line. Tasty got some good bombing runs off in there. 48,000 damage dealt with the support plays from Tasty, committing to that bombing run there. Just that is a lot of support play. In turn, what do we see from some of the other ones? Like if we take a look at HIMARS, HIMARS got some work done, had the beam destroyers and stuff the right place. Lost on the cap fight there, unfortunately. Just, yeah. Single levy goes boom. Single levy do bring a lot of boom with that. Blackbat trying to do some work in the skies, able to get 23k on the Sturgeons. No slouch there. Lost a couple of the gunfights because, again, Koi gun quite strong right now. Flechette's able to do a little bit here and there, but there's a lot of anti-craft munitions. Sawing, like, all of those Naganatas coming out from Star. Like, I think it was the rail one had, what was it? Yeah, 28 of them in total for that. So a lot of that firepower. Yeah. World's least overworked cap player. Yeah, Cherami able to do a little bit of frontline duty, just never quite able to get the fight they wanted. We're outranged, struggling to get through the armor plating there. Hallow, though, just coming in like a hero, just into the late game. It's not the damage that matters. Remember, you could be down the entire game and still win. The sudden flip around of like, oh shit, the cap points. Oh shit, this to 1,000 points. Oh shit, where's all of our capper assets? Oh no, our front line's the only thing left in the game. Ah, we gotta move. Hallow coming in with the 5 cap. Damn. Yeah. Yeah, Blackbat did well to deal out with caps, dealt with frontline. Yeah, it's like just dealing with like what kind of threats you're dealing with. Like Tasty going for the ground pound build against a bunch of the frontline, but Blackbat instead saying, okay, there's isolated assets here. I'll help out Hallow. We'll win Capper War advantage, and then in the late game, we're gonna have this thing handily, like just easily cap a load. And Hallow just comes in with the rocket shuttles and stuff. Just Microsoft Edgelord with the can opener build. Again, remember, like, you can soak a lot of damage and occupy the attention, and ANS, like, they bloody the nose of OSP this game. It was just Hallow with shuttles and a T-30 Bulker, but OSP clutches it to the very end. Damn, what a game. Whew. All right, this one's going on YouTube for sure.